The observation deck of the Zerath Prime Palace glimmered under the pale light of its 3 moons. I had been stationed there as the human envoy to the Zerathi, a race renowned for their intelligence, beauty, and a culture governed by strict hierarchy and meticulous observation. My mission was clear: ensure cooperation, negotiate trade routes, and maintain diplomatic goodwill. Yet none of my training had prepared me for what came next. The young princess, Celera, daughter of Queen Althira, had begun watching me. At first, it was subtle, a lingering glance, a head tilted in curiosity whenever I spoke. But over weeks, the pattern became impossible to ignore. Her golden eyes followed me across chambers, through halls, even across formal gatherings where her mother's strict protocols demanded decorum. I noticed, of course, but I didn't know what to do with it. In human terms, it could be admiration, curiosity, or simple politeness. But with the Zerathi, where every gaze could convey thought and intent, every glance was a potential statement, deliberate and revealing. One afternoon, I was reviewing a trade proposal in the main chamber when the queen herself entered, flanked by her advisors. The chamber fell into immediate silence. Queen Althira was a commanding presence. Her skin shimmered in shades of silver and violet, the colors of authority, wisdom, and heightened awareness. Her golden eyes scanned the room, finally settling on me. "Human," she said, her voice resonant and calm but carrying an unmistakable edge. "I have noticed something." I straightened. "Your Majesty?" Her eyes narrowed ever so slightly. "Celera," she said, addressing her daughter, who had been quietly observing from the dais, "why do your eyes always follow this human?" Celera's cheeks flickered with faint bioluminescence, a blush of lavender against her golden undertones. "Mother," she hesitated. Queen Althira turned her gaze fully upon me. "Explain yourself, human," she said, her tone leaving no room for evasion. "Why has my daughter's attention been so persistently on you? Are you influencing her? Are you harming her in ways I should know?" I bowed deeply. "Your Majesty, I assure you, I have no intentions beyond duty, respect, and the preservation of peace between our peoples. If Princess Celera has been observing me, it is only because our interactions have required her attention and, perhaps, she finds curiosity in our discussions. I would never presume to influence her inappropriately." The Queen's golden eyes did not waver. "Curiosity," she repeated, her tone skeptical. "You believe that mere curiosity accounts for weeks of attentive observation?" Celera's gaze flicked between us. "Mother, it is more than curiosity," she admitted softly. "This human, he understands. He listens, he respects, he acts without pretense. That is rare. And it draws my attention, yes, even in formal settings." A murmur rippled through the chamber. The Queen's skin shifted to deep violet, a color denoting surprise and concern. "You see, human," she said, her voice low but sharp. "This is no minor matter. The attention of my daughter is precious and carefully guarded. If she is drawn to you, there must be a reason." I took a careful step forward, mindful of the energy that seemed to ripple from her. "Your Majesty, I have only treated Princess Celera with the respect and dignity any person deserves. I would not act otherwise. If she has been observing me, it is because of her own agency, not mine." The Queen regarded me silently for a long moment. Finally, she leaned forward slightly. "Then perhaps it is time I understand. Show me your interactions, human. Demonstrate why my daughter's attention is fixed upon you." Over the next days, I accompanied Celera in her lessons, her diplomatic briefings, and her private explorations of the palace gardens. The Queen's observers followed at a distance, noting every word, every gesture. I was careful, deliberate, and patient. I answered Solara's questions, offered insight when requested, and always ensured my actions remained respectful and transparent. Slowly, the queen began to see what her daughter had been experiencing firsthand. During one afternoon in the botanical gardens, I helped Solera identify alien flora, explaining their medicinal properties and ecological importance. She listened intently, her eyes gleaming with fascination, but never with subservience. The queen watched from a nearby balcony, her skin shifting through shades of silver, blue, and lavender. Curiosity, cautious approval, and contemplation. "Human," the queen said finally during a private meeting, "I observe the way you interact with Solera. You are consistent, thoughtful, patient. You do not manipulate. You do not coerce. You speak truthfully and act with care. That is not common among humans." I bowed. "Your Majesty, I only act as I believe is right. Respect and honesty are the foundations of any successful alliance, and of trust, whether between individuals or nations." Queen Althira's gaze softened, though it retained its power. "And yet, this is more than diplomacy, is it not? My daughter's attention is not merely professional. It is personal." "Yes," I said cautiously. "She observes because she is naturally perceptive and curious. She recognizes intention and care. That is all." The queen's skin shimmered with a soft, golden violet. "Perhaps it is enough. Perhaps I see what she sees. Still, human, there will be tests. You must demonstrate that your presence does not disrupt, that your respect is genuine, that your care is constant." I accepted. Over the following weeks, the tests ranged from intellectual challenges to exercises in cultural empathy. Each time, the queen's gaze followed me, as did her advisors, but always with growing acknowledgement of my integrity. During one particularly tense session, an energy conduit malfunctioned in the palace. Solera panicked briefly, her golden eyes wide. I immediately acted, stabilizing the conduit using the human protocols I had studied extensively, ensuring no harm would come to her or the surrounding chambers. The queen observed silently from the balcony, her skin flickering through silver and violet. When the conduit was stabilized, Solara's relief was palpable. She turned to me, her eyes shining. "See, mother," she said softly. "He does not act out of obligation, nor for reward. He acts because it is right." Queen Althira's golden gaze met mine directly. Her skin softened into a warm silver gold. "I see it now," she said quietly. "Your presence has been a source of understanding, not disruption. You have earned her attention honestly, and in that you have earned my cautious approval." Weeks later, the queen convened a private audience. The chamber was quiet, the energy hum of the palace subdued. Solera stood beside her mother, eyes bright, proud, and observant. "Human," the queen began, her tone measured but carrying warmth, "you have demonstrated respect, patience, and courage. You have proven that your interactions with my daughter are sincere. In doing so, you have also shown wisdom, integrity, and honor." I bowed deeply. "Your Majesty, I am grateful for your trust. I will continue to act in accordance with these values." The queen inclined her head. "Then know this. The attention of my daughter is hers alone to grant, but it is not given lightly. She has observed, and she has judged. And I now recognize that her observation has merit, for you have proven worthy." Solera stepped forward, her golden eyes glimmering. "Mother, he has done more than act honorably. He has earned trust. He has shown care. That is why my attention remained." Queen Althira's skin glowed faintly with approval. "Indeed. And so, human, you have our acknowledgement, our trust, and our respect. It is rare that someone of your kind demonstrates such qualities. Treasure them and act accordingly." I nodded, humbled. I will, Your Majesty. Over the following months, my bond with Celera deepened, always under the watchful eye of her mother. Every glance, every exchange, every subtle gesture reinforced the trust that had been carefully built. And while my role remained one of diplomacy, a personal connection had formed, a connection grounded in respect, integrity, and understanding, observed and acknowledged by one of the most powerful rulers in the galaxy. The moment that had begun with a curious gaze, that had escalated with a bold declaration, and that had concluded with the Queen's careful observation, remained etched in my memory. It was a lesson not just in diplomacy, but in trust, patience, and the extraordinary power of being seen and recognized for one's true self across species, across cultures, and across worlds. And as the twin moons of Zerath Prime bathed the palace in silver light, I understood fully. The most significant bonds are not forged through orders, power, or command, but through the simple, extraordinary act of observing, respecting, and understanding another being. In the quiet of the observation deck, I glanced toward Celera, whose golden eyes met mine with subtle warmth. And I knew, without words, that her attention, once a mystery, had become a bridge between worlds, a testament to patience, integrity, and care. Queen Althira's presence remained powerful but measured, her golden gaze carrying not only authority but acknowledgement of the human who had dared to act with honesty, respect, and courage. In the vast expanse of the galaxy, amidst interstellar politics, alien customs, and the challenges of peacekeeping, I had discovered a fundamental truth. When attention is given freely and trust is earned through respect, the most improbable connections become possible. And in that truth, even across worlds, hearts, human and alien alike, could find understanding.